What are some of my favorite 80s movies? Oh, that's a tough question. I love 80s cinema. There's something about that era where analog special effects were really peaking, you know, doing practical effects. It was, they had really figured out how to do them well, like something like The Thing by John Carpenter. I mean, the effects in that movie are fantastic, you know, or Paul Verhoeven's original RoboCop has amazing special effects. And so there's just something really cool about that sort of pre-digital era, and seeing how far analog special effects had come during that time, and now to get to this period where they're looking really good and also having these really fun, inventive, creative stories. They were starting to get used more in like independent movies, and it was a really creative, crazy era. You get the home video element of that too in the 80s, where now people can release straight to VHS, and so you know, there was a lot of experimentation, and a lot of movies were getting made that wouldn't have been made previously. I love Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. It's, you know, to me, it's just one of the most iconic, quintessential 80s movies there is. Back to the Future, Raiders of the Lost Ark, you know, most of the James Bond movies of the 80s I love. The Great Muppet Caper is a classic from 1981. Ghostbusters, you know, is amazing. Beverly Hills Cop, Midnight Run. Oh, there's just so many. The Last Starfighter, Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai Across the Eighth Dimension, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Breakfast Club, Masters of the Universe. It's so ridiculous, but I love it. And you know, War Games. Great movie. I've been rewatching a lot of these films as I've been working on Carrie and Jess Save the Universe. Some of them I've watched for the first time during this development process, and but others I grew up with, like Bill and Ted, Back to the Future, Raiders of the Lost Ark, and so I've been rewatching a lot of those kinds of movies. But I've also been introducing myself to lots of 80s movies and early 90s movies that I hadn't seen before that I'm really enjoying. And they are clearly, I think, going to influence Carrie and Jess Save the Universe. And then watching the behind-the-scenes documentaries and listening to commentaries and figuring out how did they do these effects, because we want to make our film as authentic to the time as we can. So, yeah, I love 80s movies. There's lots of great ones. Karate Kid, there's another one. I keep thinking of more. So, yeah, long live the 80s.